The stock market is crashing. The overall market is going down. How can you profit off the market crashing? What tools can you use to make profit? I'll show you in this video talking about how I made $684 today trading UVXY as the overall market was turning red and selling off. So you can see here I have two charts pulled up. I have the UVXY and I have the SPY pulled up. The UVXY is a 2x ETF that tracks the VIX. So the VIX is obviously going to be volatility. It's going to track the volatility in the market. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but just give you an idea, the VIX basically follows the overall market. When the market sells off, the volatility rises. When the market goes sideways, the volatility goes down. And you get an idea of how volatility works. But you can actually trade volatility and you can find different ways to short the overall market using the VIX overall, and UVXY is a great one for that. There's also TVIX. There's all kinds of different ways that you can trade volatility. You can trade and short the overall market, but I chose to use UVXY for a couple different reasons, and I'll talk about those in this video. So the SPY is an overall ETF that's going to combine all the top 500. S&P is going to basically track the overall S&P 500 performance. So using two ETFs here, got it, the UVXY ETF and have the SPY ETF, and you get an idea here. You can obviously see that the UVXY is tracking the volatility as it's going up, as the SPY is crashing, which is the S&P 500. So breaking this down real quickly, you can see here in the morning, the market opens up here. Pre-market is at 244. And it's like, okay, not a big deal. It starts to crash, a little crash. And it's like, okay, it's bouncing there at 243. That's pretty normal. You know, we're getting a nice little bounce there. Got some support there at 243 area. All of a sudden, the market turns red, starts to turn red, starts to sell off. The overall markets were selling off today. Tech was selling off big, and you can see the S&P 500 followed right after that. And as you can see here, it crashes down. And looking at the chart here, you can see on the, this is overall, this is a 5-minute chart. This is the daily chart. You can see the overall markets the last couple of months, how they've been trading. Obviously been at a nice high there at 245 area. 245 has been big resistance. Can't get through that 245 area recently. So that's all-time high there at the 245 area, and having some trouble kind of bouncing around in that channel, 245, 241 area, kind of bouncing. And we actually broke through that 241 area. Is the lowest the S&P has been all month of June. So once it broke through that 241, I was like, this might really want to crash. It might get bloody, might have a big sell-off, might really have some opportunity here to benefit. So once I saw that 241 bounce, and I was keeping a close eye on 241, I was like, okay, 241 breaks. This is going to be game on, looking for that move down here to 240. If 240 breaks, this is really, really going to crash. It's going to get nasty quick, and we can see a really big sell-off in the market today. To go long on the VIX here at that break of 241, looking for that move down here to 240, and I ended up getting in. You can see basically, looking at the chart, this is, the VIX is basically an inverse of what's going on in the SPY. So if the SPY sells off really, really hard, the VIX is really going to ramp up and go high really fast. And you can see kind of how this is mirrored here. So right in this area, we start to get that sell-off. We get to that 241 area, and I start looking at it. I'm like, okay, we get above this 1050 area. We start crashing down right here. You can see here, we break through 241, starts to bounce around a little bit, and then we really get this big sell-off right here. And I ended up going long over the 1050 area and got this move above the $11 area up here to 11.10. Ended up getting about 60 cents there on 1,000 shares. So I ended up making about $684, actually trading on my phone. It's easier sometimes just to use Thinkorswim right on my phone, as I was doing some other things, editing and trading in the smaller account on the Dash Trader Pro. I just pulled it up really quickly on my phone just to trade this in my larger account, just to get 1,000 shares quickly. I was thinking like I might get a 50-cent move here if this really wanted to crash. If that 240 area broke and we really got a big sell-off, we could get a huge sell-off. I was really thinking we could get a huge ramp up and really go higher here. Only made $684 in a matter of minutes there on this trade. You can see kind of profit there, 1,000 shares. And I was like, okay, ended up taking profit there at the 11.10 area after getting in there at the 10.50. So made about 60 cents there on that move, 1,000 shares, not bad, pretty happy with that. It went even lower. And I got to that point where it got up here and I was like, okay, I'm going to take profit, just kind of looking like we might bounce here off the 240 area. It was kind of bouncing around there. Didn't want to break through 240 and got this move higher and ended up getting a little bit more volatility and ended up spiking all the way up here to 1180 here on UVXY. So I got out early, like normal, taking profit about 60 cents earlier than I should have. Could have got a full $1.20 move there, but ended up making $600. Could have made $1,200. But you never get the top. You never get the top of these moves. To be happy playing the VIX here, playing and getting that 50-cent move enough. Trading UVXY, I'm keeping a close eye on the overall market using the SPY here, ETF, and kind of looking at support resistance areas. If I'm looking here to get long on the VIX, I want to see support breaking on the S&P 500, the SPY. So when I see this 241 area break, that's a good sign. I want to go long on the VIX. The VIX is going to move very fast. If it starts to break, if SPY starts to really start moving, it starts to really crash quickly, the VIX, the UVXY, it's a 2 times following the VIX. So it's really going to ramp up quickly, and you can see here how it ramps up so quickly, even on a small move. You know, from 241 to 240, we get a huge $2 move here on UVXY, and you can see how it kind of works out. You can see here on this move, it got down to 240. We bounced off at 240 strong here on the 5-minute, jumped up from 240, reversed there on UVXY. So from 1180, we dropped all the way down here to 1110. So we got about a 70-cent move off of that drop. So got to be very careful, got to be quick to take profits when you're trading these 2 times, 3 times ETFs that really move fast when you're kind of tracking the overall market like this. And you can see amazing move. If you went long here on UVXY at that $9 area when the market really started selling off, you got that move all the way up there to 1180. So a lot of opportunity here when the market is selling off, when the market is crashing. There's opportunity to there's all kinds of different vehicles to day trade to make money off of all the different situations in the market. Like you see today, making $684 trading UVXY while the market was selling off and crashing down, taking profit out of the market, even while everybody else was scrambling to save their portfolios, or the market's crashing. They're like, oh man, I'm losing all this money. There's still ways to hedge your bets and to trade and make profit while the market is selling off. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this gives you guys an idea of how to trade when the market is selling off. When the market is crashing, don't worry. It's not like, oh, the market's crashing, there's no way that I can make money. If there's volatility, there's money to be made, and there's all kinds of different ways to trade that volatility.